BFFs and Queens, welcome to another episode of Get It Girl. On today's show, we're gonna talk about toxic relationships. When do you know that the relationship you're in is more damaging than healthy?
And joining us on the couch today, we have two hilarious Latinas who, being tired of not fitting the Hollywood Latina mold, created Latinaish TV.
All of this and more right here on Get It Girl. So girls, what is your definition of a toxic relationship?
Oh, it's so difficult.
Man.
I love how both of you guys are like,
listen, this is girl talk. We gotta ease into it. I don't know. I think for me, a toxic relationship is when you lose yourself in it. You know, you never want to be in a position where you don't know who you are anymore. And I think that people who fuel a toxic environment is probably someone who makes you doubt yourself, who makes you feel insecure, and you just can't be a good friend, a good partner, a good parent if you're not feeling like yourself. You're not able to pour positive energy into whatever environment that you're in.
That's true, and I think people that just try to control you, and like you said, they make you feel insecure because everything you do, they have an opinion about it, and so you just kind of start to want to hide yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
A toxic relationship is when you just feel like they drain your energy constantly, you know, when you're like you're saying, they always have an opinion about something. And I think we've all been through a toxic relationship, either with a boyfriend.
I think for sure.
Sometimes at moments with our parents too, you know, when you don't.
Or even friendships,
sisters, brothers, co-workers. It's just, they're out there, but.
I think it's important to build yourself up and just be very in tune with yourself, because like you said, a lot of it's energy, you know. So you can tell, as I've grown in my 30s now, I've learned to sense that bad energy, versus in my 20s I just kind of ignored it because I either didn't want to be alone, you know, you accept friends that are toxic because you don't want to be alone, or a boyfriend because you want him to like you. You know, even family. I've really had a hard time, you know, having to put boundaries with families, because I mean, you know, las tías todas, ¿cuándo vas a tener hijos?
We're talking about you behind your back to another aunt or whoever, and it's there's this whole conversation about you and they don't even know the story.
Yeah, and I think just anyone that's just overly critical, constantly trying to control you, and obviously abuse, cheating, and all the regular stuff that just kind of comes with it. But it's just really addicting. How do you guys feel is the best way to get out of those type of things?
I think boundaries, when you said that word, that's something that I'm trying to use in my own life. You know, I've had a toxic romantic relationship before, which I think is a whole other story. But in terms of friendship or even family, I think that we cannot allow ourselves to say, this person has been in my life for X amount of years, so they deserve this. They deserve the work. They deserve my energy, because listen, people change, you know, and sometimes we grow out of people, and you don't owe it to anyone if they're not helping you, uplifting you. So I think boundaries, number one, because I mean, I feel like we've said this a lot on other different shows. It's you tell people how to treat you. You know, if you're accepting certain behavior, certain energy into your life, it's just gonna keep coming.
And I think it's also important, ladies, to put a mirror up in front of our own face, because I think a lot of us, I know me, I'm a victim of it. You know, I did it in my 20s, where you're just so judgy and you find yourself being toxic. And when you start to realize that everyone around you is toxic, you also have to take a minute to be like, yo, what am I doing to draw this energy? Where am I taking part?
And it's hard to accept too. And sometimes the way life goes is the universe or God or whatever you believe in takes you out of that situation, and you might be so distraught over it and why? You're kicking and screaming, you don't understand why this is happening, but later on you realize oh my God, my life is so much better. I can breathe easier now. I'm happier. I feel more like myself. So sometimes too, you have to accept what happens in your life, because it was removed for a reason.
Yeah, taking the time to just be what am I supposed to learn from this? You know, I think that's important, instead of, you know, like you said, just kind of overlooking and getting upset about it. Yes, it hurts, and yes, toxic people, I know I've been victim of it. I had an ex-husband that was toxic. I have toxic family members and friendships, and eventually you do kind of have to just ask yourself, what is the universe trying to teach me? My biggest lesson with all the toxic relationships I've been in is compassion. Compassion towards people that like, hey, everyone's human. Even compassion towards my parents. You know, they weren't perfect.
Nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect.
Parents aren't told how they're supposed to raise children. I mean,
especially
it's just
if
like,
you come from another country.
Yeah, no, yeah.
When you are getting older, you start to mature and to understand, like, you know, compassion. Or even with us, like
even with yourself,
forgiving ourselves. Maybe we were that person, you know, back then. Why was I acting this way?
Exactly.
So every day you gotta just try to be the best you can be. And obviously, if you made a mistake or if someone made you feel upset about something, you have to forgive and
that is huge.
try to move on, because we're never going to be perfect.
No,
we're always going to be.
And that's a perfect note to end on too. It's like, you gotta just accept things in your life, forgive, move forward, because
and
guys,
just love.
Just love, all right? But yeah, unfortunately, we have to take a break from this topic, although, I mean, this is the perfect environment to just vent, let our feelings out. But we'll be right back on a lighter note with the girls of Latinaish TV.
Back on Get a Girl with very special guest, the two content creators behind Latinaish TV.
Please welcome Cristina Igaravides and Diana Cabuto. These hard last names, I love it.
Run for our money with your last names. Welcome, ladies. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
True best friends, because you both showed up with bright, big earrings.
We didn't even plan it.
And didn't even plan it. I love it. So tell us more about Latinaish TV, and as well as the journey between being like, okay, we need to create something for ourselves to represent ourselves. So tell us about that journey.
Well, I start with that. We wanted to create something for ourselves and to be able to see ourselves on TV or people like look like us more. And we wanted to kind of put together our anecdotes and things that we experience in life, not necessarily because of our culture, but just in general. Like, I was looking at a lot of Latino men doing it, doing comedy, and I was like, what about us? What about the women, you know? And we have a blast. And so we decided to get together and put together our stories in like little snippets, 1 minute, because Instagram's 1 minute. Then, you know, there was IGTV. So we're like, oh, okay, we can make them longer. 3 minutes or less. And we've been doing it since, so.
And was there any fear? Was there any reluctancy? Or you guys just kind of thought it and started? Or was there like a year process of contemplation, obstacles? Tell us about that journey.
We figured it out pretty quickly. Diana literally just called me and was like, oh, I want to work on this pilot, but I also want to do something else. And I'm like, okay. And we met up, and we hadn't spoken in like almost a year.
Oh my God.
And you know, we started working on the pilot, but then we're like, well, I want to do something else that we could do like now, right?
Yeah. But did that take you a while to get to that place to finally be like, okay, I need help? Or did you immediately kind of just think it and hit up your girl?
Well, for me, it was like I would see people just grab their cell phones. It's so much easier now to create content and just shoot it. So I was like, we just need to write 5 different little stories, 1 minute, and then just go and shoot it and see what happens.
Yeah.
And it is scary in a sense because you don't know how people are gonna react and if they're gonna like it or not. But I was like, well, as long as we like it and, you know, we just put it out there. And I started to see a lot of videos that I was so inspired, and also like I could relate so much. Like that happened to me right there. I'm like, oh, maybe my stories people can relate to. And I was like, let's just have some wine.
It goes to show too that women uniting can actually make things happen. Yes, we're all powerful in our own being, but I think when you had somebody, you had a friend, didn't it kind of help to kind of have that team partner to make this possible?
Yeah, it's hard to do it on your own. Like, I've been on YouTube since like 2011, and one of my first videos went viral with over like 2 million views.
Oh my gosh.
And like, let me tell you, like the pressure to like keep that going.
So much,
like,
right?
You're trying to be an actor, trying to be a writer, you know, but then there's this whole other world that you could also be known in, you know? And it just became, for me, too hard to just do it by myself and like maybe one other person. So this is like the new
Support,
reincarnation.
you know?
Yeah. And I always wanted to do comedy, and Diana has too. And we've been able to find like our own strengths and weaknesses and kind of play that off each other.
And you're co-producing Teatro Luna's Audible original.
Yes. I'm part of a Latina and Women of Color theater company. We're a creative collective, and we just this past year in 2019 created our first Audible original based on a storytelling show.
That's
amazing.
Yeah, Talking While
Congratulations.
Female and Other Dangerous Acts, which is literally 25 stories from Latinas across the U.S. on risk and resilience that I invite everyone to download.
Yes. That sounds so impactful for anyone to listen to. You know, it's just like you never know what's going to touch someone, right?
Yeah.
But I want to get back more into your relationship. Like, what about each other inspired you both to say like, okay, I like this girl, we can work together? Like, what qualities about each other did you guys think was going to work in a working environment?
Well, for me, it was watching her YouTube, the video. I was like, that's just hilarious. And then I went to see her at UCB. She did like a character showcase, and she did Jennifer Lopez. I was just sitting, I just went by myself. I was like, I'm just gonna support my girl. And I'm like, we have to do this. Like, her ideas are like crazy like me, and we can just put them together. And I was like, yeah, this is something I can like definitely.
Oh my God! Wait, were you impersonating her?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I would love to see that.
Oh my God, give us a couple seconds of J-Lo.
Okay, just what do you want J-Lo to do, or where would she be?
She just found out that she got snubbed for the Best Supporting Actress Oscar.
Oh yes.
You know what? I just want to say about that I don't know her. I don't know Oscar, and that's just how it is, you know.
Oh my God. I'm with J-Lo right now.
I know.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
There was an event, and actually she won the contest. She went all out with the green, you know, the typical like
Yes,
the
the
dress. that she wore.
Versace dress.
And she won, and I was in the back. I know her. She's my friend.
Oh my God, that's
love the girl
funny.
love.
I know, very cute. Well, we're bringing you guys back on for our next segment because there's definitely more girl love. Welcome back, everyone. You know, every time we have the opportunity to have two people who are friends or work together, we like to play a little game about how much do you know your bestie. Yes, so I'm gonna read to Christina about questions about Diana, and vice versa. Jackie will do the same, and then Gia will keep the score of who wins. So shall we commence?
Very scared.
Okay, for Christina, what's Diana's biggest insecurity?
Oh, I'll say her accent.
Oh, really? Girl, I want an accent so bad. That is so amazing that you have it. You should own it, girl.
You have a little bit of the LA though.
Yes, I do. The LA girl. But I want like the Salma Hayek, like that. I love it. Like it's sexy.
Yeah, I know. Accents are sexy.
But growing up, I know even here in LA, you had to speak so good. So even me, I tried so hard not to speak it. You know, my parents were from Mexico, so we spoke Spanish at home. It was a lot of pressure. So I know what you felt up before. I would probably be more insecure, but now I'm like, I want Salma Hayek's accent.
Okay, question for you. When is Christina's birthday and what sign is she?
Ahora
She
sí.
just had her
Ahora
birthday on December 31st. And what was the second question?
What's her sign? What sign?
I don't know anything about signs.
December 31st, you said?
What is that?
December 31st, you said? Oh, I know what that is.
Is that Aries? I
No,
have no idea.
starts with a C.
No, Capricorn.
Yeah. That counts. I'll give you the point. You got a point. You got a point.
There you go. I was drinking like 3 days before New Year's.
That like stretch of holidays where you don't know what day it
it's
is.
somewhere
You're partying.
She was partying like 3
All
days.
right, what is Diana, or who is Diana's biggest Hollywood crush?
Oh, I don't know.
Adivina.
Take a guess.
I have no idea. Man, we never talk about men.
What? Oh my gosh. You're like girl talk and business.
Yes.
We actually try to make our videos not about like girls searching
Talking
for
about
guys.
Oh, that's
It's just,
good.
really,
you
That's
know,
good.
things that
Yeah.
Do you have a Hollywood crush? Well, not Hollywood, just
Yeah.
That's a good question. And this is
See,
a
she
fun
doesn't. I
story
got it right.
because-
Yeah, she actually got it right. We're gonna give you a point, Christina.
Yes, you just get a point. It's interesting because Kristen Stewart to me is just such a like badass lately in the movies that she's been and the movie that she did. That I was like, she's like my female crush. But guys, I don't really, you know.
No.
Yeah.
Damn.
You got a point.
I'll
Yeah,
take
I
case too. Okay, that's good with me. That's good with me.
How many serious relationships has she had? She's like,
She's even thinking. She's like, how many?
How many has it?
serious. I would say 4 to 5.
Oh.
Would you say the same? She's like, maybe 4 or 5 of them didn't know it was serious.
Okay, so no
She
more.
said she went through a lot of
didn't
boyfriends, but maybe not that
Maybe they
serious.
weren't that serious.
Okay, let's see. When did Diana move from Mexico to the U.S.?
I believe she was 15.
Yes? Oh my God! Oh, I feel bad now.
okay, let's see. At what age Christina was her first kiss? Do you know when she had her first kiss? What age?
El primer beso.
I want to say she was a very good girl, so I want to say like high school.
Oh, damn!
Like, damn.
It's mine.
When was it?
Like 11.
Okay, so no
Wait,
point.
is it like a kiss or like
Oh,
you
I
meant?
just meant like,
Oh
like
yeah,
a
no.
kiss.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, then yes. 10 or 11. I was
Maybe
thinking
more than that.
the whole, the real.
Like the real.
The real, the tongue.
So funny. Okay, on a romantic note, what is Diana's boyfriend's first name? Oh, wait. What was her first boyfriend's name?
Oh, okay.
Or you could.
She's like,
Whichever one.
Sensitive topic. No. There's boyfriend.
First boyfriend's name.
Oh, do you remember your first boyfriend?
I do, but I never talk about it.
I'm just gonna say a random name. Michael.
Mike, was it?
that's a
Michael?
common name, was it?
No, it was actually Ignacio Nacho.
Oh, I was
Nacho. If you're watching this.
Hey, Nacho. I love it. Too funny.
Let's see, your question.
I think we don't have much time.
Okay, so what's the
Let's
score?
keep
What's
going.
the score?
Yeah, what's
Well, the score, Christina did win.
I think our questions were a little bit harder, but you guys
Yeah, they
both
were.
did great.
Well, thank you, ladies, so much for being here and playing this game with us and letting us know a little bit more about you guys. Don't forget to follow them online, you guys. Thank you so much for being here today. We'll be right back with more Get It Girl.
You know, it's interesting how our guests of today's show didn't feel like they were fitting the mold of the Latina style. On our next segment, we have Jenny Lorenzo, an actress and comedian most known for her role of La Abuelita, shared on Esa Soy Yo, the same insecurity, and this is how she overcame it.
Hello, I am Jenny Lorenzo, and I am Cuban American. I am a comedic actress, and I am a content creator. And I am insecure about not fitting into the Latino mold. Esa soy yo. Growing up in Miami, everyone was kind of the same. We all shared similar backgrounds, a lot of Cubans. I felt like I fit in for a very long time until I started auditioning. I realized, whoops, I'm not really Latina, I guess. I mean, not according to the people that were casting. I got an agent, I did my headshots and everything, and then I started going out to a lot of auditions that required me to look sexy. I'm not being a hater, okay? I can be sexy in my own way, but you know what I mean by sexy. I'm talking like Hollywood sexy. I had to like shade my breasts to make it look like I had cleavage. I wore this really tight tank top and these like Brazilian jeans, and it was so awkward. And I thought, well, maybe it's just this one. No. Almost every audition after that, I was standing next to like Sábado Gigante models, and so I never got cast for anything. But at the end, I ended up going to film school because of it, because I was like, well, screw this. If no one's gonna give me a chance, I'm gonna give myself a chance. I had an agent, another agent later on. She was the real deal, but I still didn't like this. She's like, you're gonna have to start telling people you're white, because that is what you pass as. No one's gonna buy you as a Latina. She would have told me to change my last name if it didn't sound so Italian. Times are changing. I think now it's a different story. Now it's like, oh no, keep your last name. Whoops, I feel bad for everybody who changed their last name, because now it's like, Latinos are in. I know that I'm Latina as hell. I'm super Cuban, I'm super Miami, but I felt like everyone was so close-minded up at the top, the tippity top of Hollywood. That is the issue with Hollywood. They try to just group us into one category, especially women. The Sofia Vergara, the sexy, the spicy, whatever that means. I am not a Taco Bell menu item. I don't know who coined this term, but I love it. Living in the hyphen. I live in between Cuban and American. So I'm not gonna hide my Cuban side and I'm not gonna hide my American side. I like banjo music. Okay, I listen to indie folk rock and merengue and pitbull. To anyone out there who does not feel like they fit a certain mold pertaining to their culture, identity, background, what have you, these are the steps that I would say that you should take. Number one, you being yourself is enough for people to learn from you and realize, I guess not all Cubans are like that, or I guess not all Latinos are like that. Number two, I would say talk to people, educate them without being too rude. Number three, I would say, I remember that brief period where I was told to just say I'm white and just pass as white 100%, and just let go of the Latino-ness. And during that period, I really felt sort of ashamed in terms of media, in terms of who I wanted to be as an actor. And I just say, screw all of that. Just be comfortable in your own skin. I think that's what's gonna make you stand out in the end. Hi, I'm Jenny Lorenzo. I am Cuban American. I am a comedic actress, and I am a content creator. And I'm glad that I don't have to fit into any mold because I am me. Esa Soy Yo.
That was it for today, but please don't forget to follow us on Get a Girl TV and LA TV Network. We will see you next time.